Hello, in today's CEO Clinic, we're going to have a look at a very short interview, 2.5 minutes on CNBC with Tesla CEO Elon Musk. And in this short interview, there are around about 5 questions. The reason I chose this video is in the comments, a lot of people were talking about how objective the interviewer was. What we're going to see here is that although the questions are straightforward, there are potentially some traps in there for a leader answering these questions. Let's have a look at the first one.
On XAI. First of all, you spoke earlier about wanting more control at Tesla. Would you ever consider merging XAI into Tesla? It would be a way, obviously, they could issue shares to you and conceivably would increase your overall economics. Is that a possibility?
Well, I guess anything's possible, but it would be difficult to speculate about something. Tesla's a publicly traded stock. So.
It is. I would think to get a majority of the minority vote or whatever you might need might be not easy.
Yeah. It's not out of the question, but that would have to be something that the Tesla shareholders would want to vote for.
So this first question, again, talking about the merger between Tesla and XAI is very straightforward, but Musk has to be evasive because there's a legal trap. As a public company, he can't reveal privileged information. So to answer that question directly, if they were considering a merger, would land him in hot water with the SEC. The interviewer then goes on to try and follow up before moving on to talking about Musk's compensation.
So, but it's not something you're thinking about doing.
It's not currently. There are no plans to do so.
Right.
It's not out of the question, but obviously would require Tesla shareholder support for that.
Another way you could obviously increase your control would be to get that comp plan passed in Delaware, or through the Delaware Supreme Court, or a new one. You haven't been paid, I believe, since 2018.
Yeah.
So where are you?
7 years.
Yeah, where are you on comp?
7 years with zero pay.
Although, to be fair, if it goes through, you're going to have an enormous payday. It'll be fine. It'll be more money than anybody's ever made.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, let's just say that if any CEO of the Fortune 500 were to agree to a plan like the one that I agreed to, you should buy the stock of that company immediately.
That is a really strong answer. Again, it's quite a direct question, talking about his massive compensation plan. He hasn't been paid for 7 years, but great answer. If any CEO of a Fortune 500 company agreed to a plan like I did, I'd buy their stock. That's really assertive. It's really clear. And it puts that question to bed very nicely.
Yeah, no, I remember it at the time. To be fair, the stock was the targets were so far above where the stock was, and obviously they were met.
Yes.
Is the board working to your knowledge on another potential plan if, in fact, the one never gets out of Delaware, the Supreme Court rules against the chancellor's ruling?
I mean, I don't want to speak on behalf of the board, but I'm sure it's on their mind. But I can't comment on Tesla board deliberations.
So again, a question here that potentially puts Musk into a lot of legal risk. It's illegal to comment and to disclose on what the board might be deliberating. That would go against SEC rules and also Musk's fiduciary duty. So again, it's quite a tricky question. Musk has to be quite evasive, but there's legal reasons for doing so.
You said earlier, I mean, you want to stay as CEO. Why not? I've wondered, Elon, given all the heat you've gotten in a lot of ways, why not sort of become like an Ellison-like figure at Tesla? Obviously, you're a lot younger, but still, he's very influential at Oracle. But, he's not CEO and he doesn't get the attention.
So again, this question here could be considered quite hostile. You're basically asking someone why don't you step down as CEO and be like somebody else who's 30, 40 years older than you? So again, a question that's framed to be provocative. But again, Musk handles it quite well.
He isn't the CEO?
No, he's not. Safra's the CEO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. At least not in title. That's my point.
I think maybe a better term for... I'm a huge fan of Larry Ellison. He's a good friend of mine. Owner.
Say again?
Owner, I think, would be...
yes.
He's the owner of Oracle.
Yes, he is.
So again, Musk handles that quite well, reframes the question into, well, he may not be the CEO, but he's the owner, and he's probably still quite involved in the company. So there you can see in just a short 2.5 minutes, 5 questions. They are quite challenging. So as a leader, as a CEO, you have to be ready to handle these questions